Hi, howdy, hello. Here are 3 reasons that I love knitting, crochet, fiber arts, all of this, but knitting is kind of my first love. I figure if I'm going to be sharing more about fiber arts, about all this stuff with y'all, you should know, like, why am I into it? What are we doing here? First off, it just gives me something to do with my hands. Genuinely, like, I just like having something that takes a little bit of that kind of monkey brain, you might call it. It's like a bit of a fidget spinner. It's a bit of, doodling. I was knitting in college classes. I was knitting in high school classes. Like, knitting has gotten me through a lot of times where I need to sit and listen to other people talk. I try to pay attention, but it really helps when I have a little something that I can just be doing, have a tiny bit of my brain focused down here, and the rest of it, like, I'm right here. I'm here with you, baby. But if I can just like be doing something, that's helpful. And the great thing about knitting instead of a fidget spinner is that at the end, I have a thing, and that's pretty cool. Obviously at first when you're learning, it's hard to do it as a background thing, but the longer you do it and the more skills you grow, the more complicated things you can be doing still kind of just in the background. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that it's super fun to be able to customize your clothing and the things around you. You can create cool gifts. You can get just the perfect color and the perfect, shape. You can tailor things a little bit. Like maybe you want that sweater a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, or you want the arms to fit a little more loosely. You can do all of that. Or you want the sweater in a very specific color, or you want to add stripes. All of these things, the world becomes your oyster. And that is super cool and fun. And thirdly, there is a deeper connection between like slowing down and making something and knowing the work that goes in to make something. And it really helps center us and disconnect us from this go, consumer driven culture that we, find ourselves in, especially driven by late stage capitalism. We need to create the world that we're living in, and hobbies like this, these creative things where we're physically creating something, I think it helps us practice those skills of creation, of knowing like I can make things. I can have an idea. I can take my 2 hands. I can put in the effort and the time it takes to grow the skills to make the thing, and I have to go through the hard parts. AI cannot knit a sweater for me, it can't tell me how to fix my mistakes. It can't teach me how to pick the right yarn for the right project. Like, those are things we learn over time. Those are things that have been part of collected knowledge that's now shared, and in some ways, like in many artisan hobbies like this, is getting lost. But we can reconnect with that. And textiles in particular are just something that's been such an important part of cultures over time. And gosh, I could talk about this forever. And I'm sure I will. I'll talk to you more about it later. Tell me if you're interested. But I will say, yeah, I think just connecting to that slowing down, deconstructing, consumerist, immediate, instant gratification culture is another really crucial part of like why I love this world of making. And I'll share more on that with you later. If you make stuff, especially if you knit or crochet, tell me in the comments, or if you make other things, tell me a little bit more about some of the reasons that you like doing that instead of, just going out and buying the thing. Ciao.